105. You can listen to both sides of the story on the Gleaner's website, www.the-jamaica.com, on your mobile phones at tunein.com or novex.com, or by dialing 832-551-5045 or 213-493-0133 in the USA. If you're in the UK, you can dial 020-3519-0145, and in Germany, 051-180-904044. Our email address is bothsides106@live.com, and you can join us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, or link us up on Skype. We look forward to receiving your instant messages on MSN or Yahoo, and your text messages on 365.
Fine, thanks. We're live.
Remember, we have 2 ears, 1 mouth, so we both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session. Power 106.
Hear, my children, the instruction of a father, and give attention to no understanding. For I give you good doctrine. Do not forsake my law. When I was my father's son, tender and the only one in the sight of my mother, he also taught me and said to me, let your heart retain my words. Keep my commands and live. Get wisdom. Get understanding. Do not forget nor turn away from the words of my mouth. Do not forsake her, and she will preserve you. Love her, and she will keep you. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. And in all your getting, get understanding. Exalt her, and she will promote you. She will bring you honor when you embrace her. She will place on your head an ornament of grace, a crown of glory. She will deliver you, or deliver to you. Hear, my son, and receive my sayings, and the years of your life will be many. I have taught you in the way of wisdom. I have led you in right paths. When you walk, your steps will not be hindered. And when you run, you will not stumble. Take firm hold of instruction. Do not let go. Keep her, for she is your life. Do not enter the path of the wicked, and do not walk in the way of evil. Avoid it. Do not travel on it. Turn away from it and pass on. For they do not sleep unless they have done evil, and their sleep is taken away unless they make someone fall.
A child arrived just the other day. He came to the world in the usual way, but there were planes to catch and bills to pay. He learned to walk while I was away, and he was talking for I knew it. And as he grew, he'd say, I'm gonna be like you, Dad. You know I'm gonna be like you. And the cats in the cradle and the silver spoon, a little boy doing the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you do me the throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay. And then he walked away, but his smile never dimmed. Said, I'm gonna be like him. Yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, Dad, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, he came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. Dad, you know we'll have a good time then. I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said, I'd love to, Dad, if I could find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu. But it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. We're gonna have a good time there.
It's the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 19th day of the 6th month of 2023, the International Year of Millets, those cereals grown in warm countries and regions with poor soils, bearing a large crop of small seeds, which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. Put another way, it's the 19th day of the first month of the 2023 Atlantic hurricane season in this disaster risk reduction month, which is also being observed as Road Safety Awareness Month, Pride Month, and Brides Month. Meanwhile, Caribbean American Heritage Month activities continue in the United States, where Juneteenth is also being celebrated in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and Texas. In fact, the state of Texas is also observing Emancipation Day. It's Heroes Day in Bermuda, Artigas Day in Uruguay, Independence Day in Kuwait, Labor Day in Trinidad and Tobago, and Writing, Rightting Day in Algeria. It's World Sickle Cell Day. Hoy es lunes, el 19 de junio 2023. Y les saludamos en cualquier parte del mundo que nos están escuchando en este momento. Estamos muy agradecidos por el don de la vida y el privilegio de servirles en otra edición de su programa Both sides of the story, ambos lados de la historia. Nunca vamos a tomar su audiencia por sentado, porque sabemos que ustedes tienen otras opciones. Y esta es la razón por la cual jamás olvidamos darle las gracias por elegir both sides of the story, ambos lados de la historia, de lunes a viernes desde las 2 hasta las 5 de la tarde, aquí en Power 106 FM. La misión continúa para educar, capacitar, iluminar y estimular el espíritu empresarial. Bienvenidos.
And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, he'd grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cats in the cradle and the silver.
C'est lundi le 19 juin 2023 et nous vous saluons tous qui nous écoutez où que vous soyez dans le monde. Nous sommes reconnaissants du don de la vie ainsi que du privilège d'être à votre service par une nouvelle édition de votre programme Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre. Nous ne considérons pas votre fidélité comme l'un de soi parce que nous savons que vous avez l'embarras du choix. C'est pourquoi nous n'oublions jamais de vous remercier de choisir d'écouter Both Sides of the Story, le pour et le contre, du lundi au vendredi de 2h à 5h de l'après-midi sur notre antenne Power 106 FM. Nous continuons notre mission d'éduquer, d'habiliter, d'éclairer et d'encourager l'esprit d'entreprise. Bienvenue.
Cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. A little boy killing the man on the phone. When you're coming home, Daddy don't know when, but we'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then.
All we're saying is it's Monday, the 19th of June, 2023, and we greet you well, wherever in the world you are listening to us right now. We remain eternally grateful for the gift of life and the privilege to serve you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story. We don't ever take your listenership for granted because we know you have choices. And that's why we never ever forget to remember to say thanks for choosing to listen to Both Sides of the Story, Monday to Friday, 2 to 5, right here on Power 106 FM. The mission continues to educate, empower, enlighten, and encourage entrepreneurship. Welcome.
When they came from college just the other day, so much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and they said with a smile, what I really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please?
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Education plays a critical role in the lives of our young people. At the American Foundation for the University of the West Indies, we ensure financially challenged students across the Caribbean are given increased access to higher education so they can continue to transform their lives and the lives of others. Support our mission in shaping the lives of our future leaders. Donate to educate. Contact our office at 212-759-9345 for more details.
arrived just the other day. Came to the world.
We started out this afternoon with Proverbs 4, verse 1 through 16, on the subject of getting wisdom at any cost. And we paired that with Cats in the Cradle by Harry Chapin, Chapin. And that's the package for this afternoon here on both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, in terms of the scripture and the song. That's what it is for today, the day after Father's Day. And we want to thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Hello to those of you listening to us on 106.1, 106.3, 106.5, 106.7, and 106.9. From Moran Point to Negril Point, from the Goat Islands to Galena Point, this is Power 106 FM, serving Jamaica and the diaspora. Hello to those tuned in via the Power 106 FM app, which you have downloaded from the App Store or the Google Play Store, depending on the nature of your device. Downloading is free, listening is free, whenever, wherever. We acknowledge those who have dialed a designated number to listen to Power 106 FM from the United States or the United Kingdom. Those in the US who wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM can call 631-359-8281, 631-359-8281. If you're in the United Kingdom and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, your number is 0330-606-0953, 0330-606-0953. We're streaming live video on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. If you're not there yet, log on to Facebook. In the search box atop the page, type DERVANMALCOLM. And you too will be able to not just hear, but see what's happening in the studios of Power 106 FM. If you don't have a Facebook account, no sweat. There's always YouTube. All you need is a smartphone, a tablet computer, laptop, desktop, any one of those. Then you'll need internet connection. More importantly, though, internet connectivity. One sure way of testing for connectivity is by opening a browser like Google Chrome, for example. And if you're able to browse, you're good to go. If not, you might need to get some assistance in resolving that issue. As we said, today is commemorated as Juneteenth, Juneteenth, Juneteenth. That's the short for June 19th, which marks the day when federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas in 1865 to take control of the state and ensure that all enslaved people be freed. The troops' arrival came a full 2.5 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. Juneteenth honors the end to slavery in the United States and is considered the longest-running African-American holiday. Confederate General Robert E. Lee had surrendered at Appomattox Courthouse 2 months earlier in Virginia, but slavery had remained relatively unaffected in Texas until U.S. General Gordon Granger stood on Texas soil and read General Orders Number 3. The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. The Emancipation Proclamation issued by President Abraham Lincoln on January 1st, 1863, had established that all enslaved people in Confederate states in rebellion against the Union shall be thenceforward and forever free. But in reality, the Emancipation Proclamation didn't instantly free any enslaved people. The proclamation only applied to places under Confederate control and not to slave-holding border states or rebel areas already under Union control. However, as Northern troops advanced into the Confederate South, many enslaved people fled behind Union lines. In Texas, slavery had continued as the state experienced no large-scale fighting or significant presence of Union troops. Many enslavers from outside the Lone Star State had moved there as they viewed it as a safe haven for slavery. After the war came to a close in the spring of 1865, General Granger's arrival in Galveston that June signaled freedom for Texas's 250,000 enslaved people. Although emancipation didn't happen overnight for everyone, in some cases, enslavers withheld the information until after harvest season. Celebrations broke out among newly freed Black people, and Juneteenth was born. That December, slavery in America was formally abolished with the adoption of the 13th Amendment. The year following 1865, freedmen in Texas organized the first of what became the annual celebration of Jubilee Day on June 19. In the ensuing decades, Juneteenth commemorations featured music, barbecues, prayer services, and other activities. And as Black people migrated from Texas to other parts of the country, the Juneteenth tradition spread. In 1979, Texas became the first state to make Juneteenth an official holiday. Today, 47 states recognize Juneteenth as a state holiday, while efforts to make it a national holiday have so far stalled in Congress. So that's the history of Juneteenth today. It's a holiday in the USA, as you heard, at least official in 47 states in the United States of America. And from what we saw yesterday, it's been a bloody Juneteenth weekend in the United States, as reported by CNN. And so we thank you very much for making it both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. We'll share some more information with you as the program progresses. In the meantime, though, feel free. We still have a few minutes before Land Solutions. Feel free to call 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Ricardo in Glengough, St. Catherine says, good afternoon, Dervan, Malcolm, and thank God for life, and shout out to all the listeners from across the world. Inez Ayona Campbell is greeting us. Good afternoon, Inez Ayona Campbell. She says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, Malcolm, and viewers. Freedom Day it is. Norman Hines in St. Thomas says, blessed afternoon, Sir Dervan, Malcolm, and listeners. Good afternoon, Norman Hines. Audrey Smith says, afternoon, Dervan and listeners everywhere, listening and watching from Southampton in England. Welcome, Audrey Smith. Donna Bell says, good afternoon. Good afternoon, Donna Bell. Thank you for joining us. Robert Carr, that's Kerr. Some people pronounce their name Kerr, Kerr, same spelling, but different pronunciation. They sometimes choose how to pronounce or how they would like their name to be pronounced, which is quite in order. So Robert Carr, and that's because I went to a car uh, when I was a student at Calabar. So I learned the name from then. His father is a former outstanding athlete for Jamaica. So that's that. So Robert Carr says, a question for you and your listeners. Is there any other way to avoid the precipitous trajectory of government corruption by removing partisan political influence and control from public life? Such would open the door to nominations of the best for public service only from and by the constituents, civil society, and not political parties. Also, the creation of effective mechanisms for accountability and the removal of conflicts of interests. Well, there is a lot of room for that kind of lobbying and advocacy, and there is no time like the present. So, by all means, Robert Carr, go right ahead and play your part. Thank you very much for your message on Facebook Live. Let's see who else is hitting us up online here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. We say a big thank you to members of the diaspora who are always so accommodating and quite helpful whenever we travel. Thank you very much for all you do, and we look forward to continuing growth in more ways than one of the Jamaican diaspora. Thank you very much, everyone, and we look forward to greater things to come. Let's see, Patricia Donald Phillips has sent us a press release, the latest press release. Let me see. This just once, let's see this. Taking a while to open or download, however you look at it. It's a message from Advocates Network entitled Justice for Danielle Rowe. That's the little girl, the 8-year-old who was murdered. The members of the Advocates Network say they're in shock and mourning over the barbaric murder of 8-year-old Danielle Rowe, who was kidnapped, throat slashed, and then tossed like rubbish. She is but the latest of girls under the age of 10 who have been murdered and brutalized in Jamaica over the last few months. There is no adequate language to express our condolences to her parents and family, no appropriate language to assuage the fear of girls and women across Jamaica, no sensible language to point out the gross failure of the Jamaican government to protect our children, especially our girls. It is now 9 days after Daniel's abduction. We call upon all concerned citizens of Jamaica, get involved, speak out, protest, volunteer, protect our children. The Advocates Network now calls on all Jamaica to stand with them and reclaim the country for ourselves and our children. Not another child ought to be slaughtered. We will not stand for it. And the press release goes on. So that's from the Advocates Network. Let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:31 on Power 106.
The Wallace family presents Reunion 2023 under the theme, bringing together all the generations. Come enjoy a weekend of fun, frolic, and relaxation throughout the parish of St. Anne, Saturday, June 24 to Monday, June 26. Celebrations include a family day, bus tour, church service, and much more. Part proceeds in aid of the Quickly Pole Primary School. That's the Wallace family reunion. All family and extended family are welcome. For further information, call 876-867-2508. One love. Both sides of the story. Do you have a title for your land? Are you thinking about buying or selling land? How much is your property worth? Tune into Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm on Power 106 FM every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. for The NLA and You, a program that examines the National Land Agency's role in building an efficient and transparent land titling system for Jamaicans. That's The NLA and You on Both Sides of the Story with Dervan Malcolm every last Tuesday at 3:30 p.m. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, committed to serve you better.
It's a Monday afternoon, just after 2:30, and that means time for Land Solutions. Land Solutions, the program where all your land-related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line and the WhatsApp number are one and the same. For Land Solutions, 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. You're encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the offices of Brown, Findley and Company. The numbers to call: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. There is also another office of the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, which is it's at the JN building, the Jamaica National Building, upstairs, shop 6, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. In fact, on a Thursday, they roll out an extra team, can we say, in terms of additional personnel and just providing more options for you beyond the usual popping in and out of the law firm Brown, Findley and Company. They have an extra special session on a Thursday, every Thursday from 10 in the morning until 1 in the afternoon. And that's a good time to see the attorneys at law at the law firm Brown, Findley and Company, especially for those who would have to or need to plan that trip, depending on what part of the island they're coming from. Right. So now that you have the info, it's over to you. 876-922-4113-5. The numbers to call for Land Solutions. Any issue at all that you have with the land, this is the time, this is the program, and we look forward to your questions, your calls, your comments. But right now, we're going to hand you over to Attorney at Law, Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan, and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome again to Land Solutions. The number to call 922-411-325. And the text line, or if you want to send me a text message or WhatsApp message, the number is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. That's the WhatsApp line you want to send me a message. But right now, you want to talk to me on air, the number is 922-411-225. And want to look at some text messages that I need to address. There's one in particular that someone asked about the meaning of landlocked. What is meant when you say that land is landlocked? And we hear people talk about that in terms of some countries. There are some countries that are landlocked. That means they don't have any access to the sea. So they have to go to another person's country in order to get to theirs. And when we say a land is landlocked in Jamaica, it's the same meaning. That means that the persons don't have any access, any free access to their property. They have to go through someone else's property in order to get to theirs. And that's what we mean by being landlocked. Because the situation that this person is pointing out is that they are being told by someone who was born way after they have had their property that they have no access to their property because the road belongs to this person's grandfather. But we don't, and the person who was speaking to me has a title. As long as you have a title for your property, or you have bought property, etc., your land cannot be landlocked. No surveyor will survey a property if there's no access, there's no road, there's no way to get to it. You don't have to have a 40-foot road. Maybe it's a track, maybe it's just a right-of way, maybe it's a reserve road. But there must be access, and the title's office will not give a title to someone if there is evidence that the person has no access to their property, and the surveyor will not survey it either if there is no evidence of access. So this young person who is telling this older gentleman that he has no access to his property, you're mistaken. And the person showed me site and there is access. And I'm having a little bit of a concern because you have a younger generation coming up, as it says in Exodus, some Pharaohs who did not know Joseph, who come forward these days to dictate rules. And I've seen it so many times. Persons are saying to person, my grandfather sold you the land, but he sold it to you too cheap, so we want it back. Or my father never sold it to you. Remember that your father could have sold it to them for $1 even though it was worth 10 million. That's your father's prerogative. You, the next generation, cannot come and dispute it now. Neither can you also come now and say to persons that the land is no longer. You can't come now and say to person now that they don't have a road to their land and they have been walking to their land forever. Even they were walking through your father's land, it's now their road. They have been walking there long enough. So I'm begging the younger persons, okay, who have become a part of the family, not just the land grab, but the family land grab nowadays, to please desist. Okay, desist from trying to claim what is no longer yours. The number to call 922-411-325 and the text line is 387-3183. 387-3183. And also, please remember that if you want to get a title for your property, just send me a text message. Just send the message to 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. Send me a message if you want a title. And if you want to send a text message, you want me to address something now, you can also send me a text message. And remember that when I send you the information to get the title, please give me a clear history of the land. So for those who have sent the form to, if I'm going to get a title for you, I'm going to want a proper history of the land. And the history should have time and date. John Brown owned the land in the 1970s. He died in the 1990s. And his son, Peter Brown, took possession of the land. Peter sold the land to Mary Brown in 2010. And Mary died in 2010, and her children, Peter, Paul, and John, have taken possession since. Also, when you are giving me the information, tell me some things that have been done on the land, especially in terms of permanent trees that have been planted, fruit trees or lumber, etc. So you tell me we have an apple tree, guava, mango, avocado. Tell me those things. Tell me we have a fence. The land is fenced. That is very helpful. You have a 3-bedroom house on it. There's so many bedrooms, that's enough. You don't have to say the other type of room. I have a 3-bedroom house on it. We need that kind of information to show the titles of it. Some the permanence that you have established. The fencing is there. You have a house on it. If you don't have a house on it, fine. We have been farming it. We have been pushing it. We have been planting. We have been rearing animals on it. Tell me what you have been doing. We have been paying the taxes, and we have some old tax paper to help to support. Our children were born there. We have the birth certificates to show. We have electricity. We got electricity 20 years ago. Here's a copy of the bill so JPS can say when we got it. All of those things we are going to need in order to make a successful application for you. And remember also, you're going to need 2 persons who have known the land for 30 years. 2 persons who have known the land for 30 years will be willing to sign documents for you. We don't want them to write up anything. We just need their information, name, age, address, occupation. What they are to sign, we will prepare for you. So all of those who have sent the form and those who will be requesting the form before the day is out, remember, these are the things that we're going to need. The 2 declarations, any document you have for the land. Maybe you bought it, the receipt. Maybe it's a will, just will do it with the will. Even if it's a copy you have, give us some documentation to establish your claim. And I'm begging persons, Kalisa and I have been preaching this for such a long time. Make effort to get the title before it becomes a problem. Don't say, I'm not going to look about any title because nobody not troubling me until somebody starts troubling you. You go to pay the taxes, somebody has paid it already. Or you get a notice to vacate the property, even though you have lived there for 30 years unmolested. You have not been paying lease. I remember if you are paying lease for land, you can't come and claim the land. You can't apply for a title for somebody's land and you have been paying lease unless you haven't paid lease for the last 12 years. Otherwise, you cannot come and claim to say, I've been paying lease for 50 years, it's not mine. And the thing with that lease, with the possession, with the situation with it, when you lease property, is why I'm a little bit reluctant, to encourage persons to lease property. Because the squatter is better off than the lessee, the person who has leased, because if you have leased the property for 100 years, you have no right to that property. The persons who have leased it to you can give you notice at any time, and you don't have any position to stand up in court. Also, be very careful when you lease land. Many persons lease land and they have gone and put up permanent structures. Sometimes you have to walk away and leave that house, even though it's a nice concrete house and you can't hit it down because the person could sue you for it because it is now theirs because it's a permanent structure. So if you're going to put up any permanent structure on lease property, make sure you have it in writing that you are allowed to do it, and that if you should be given notice, the lessor must pay you, compensate you for the value of your house, or that the person must give you an option to sell. And sometimes the difficulty is about getting the option to buy rather is that you might not be able to get a title because it's a little house spot you lease. And a lot of times you're going to need subdivision. The parish council not going to allow you to get title for just a little house spot. If it's just a house spot and the man has no other property and that's all he has, or the woman, then you can get a title for it. But the challenge is when you need to cut that piece off. And I'll continue that after the break. This is Land Solution.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45. J&N Logistics and Marine Services, a custom broking freight forwarding company, local agents for Transcon USA and Freight Plus Worldwide Canada. They offer customs clearance for returning residents, students, clearance on shipment for individuals, businesses, and companies, vehicle sourcing and dealership service, transportation and haulage and export services, with custom consulting extended to all sectors. Call 876-937-7928 or 876-677-4049. Need water for agricultural purposes? Apply to the National Irrigation Commission for your irrigation services. Let's grow smart and eat smart with irrigated agriculture. Call National Irrigation Commission at 876-927-6727. Visit their website at www.nicjamaica.com or visit any of their office locations today. Irrigation, making the difference.
Happy Father's Day to you. Hope you and your family are doing well. And you take it easy. Amen. Bye.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program where all your land related matters are dealt with. Anything at all to do with the sale or purchase of land, you've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876 922 4113-5. 876 922 4113-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876 365 3346. 876 365 3346. Remember the numbers as well for the number for the text line, same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions. That number is 876 387 3183. 876 387 3183. That's the number for the text and WhatsApp contacts for those who wish to connect on those platforms. We also remind you that the website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Gloria at, right, sorry. So that's gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. And they encourage all clients and potential clients to call ahead instead of just turning up. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company: 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Remember, the number to call 922-411-225 and the text line is 387-3183. And this client is saying, "Good day, Ms. Brown. I'm facing a similar situation as you mentioned at the start of your program, having access to my house through another property for over 26 years. And there is a claim for adverse possession of the property for the entire property to include my access. The question is, can these persons claim adverse possession for the property? Can they take over my access in their claim? And no, they can't legitimately take over your access in your claim. But what have you done over the years? You have been using this property for 26 years, its access. Do you have a title? Is the title showing the access? Because I'm hoping that you're not one of the persons who's just going to run to try to do something now that you have had a problem. But even the persons that are claiming adverse possession against the property, they must make provision for your access. So if they come to claim it, you need to stop the survey unless the surveyor guarantees that he or she will show your access on the property. In the meantime, you need to go and get this access recognized as a legitimate access to your property. But I'm encouraging persons, sometimes we feel that we are very safe, so we don't see the need to look about our documentation. And then we come to realize that we are not as safe as we thought. So, even if the persons are claiming adverse, but for them to claim adverse, they are saying we have sold hope.
Sorry, we lost you for a moment there. Hello?
You're back with me?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay. So these persons cannot claim sole possession of the property when you have been using that portion of it. So any claim they make should make mention or should make provision for the access that you have. But I'm saying to all persons out there, make sure you look about your title, make sure that you get your access recognized on your title. So if these persons are going to make a claim, you probably will have to object to their application or object to their survey. And in the meantime, you need to go and look after your title if you don't have one, or make some provision, get a surveyor to come in to show this as your access that you have been using. The numbers to call 922-411-325, 922-411-325, and the text line, send me a message, send me a WhatsApp message. The text line is 876-387-3183. Good afternoon, Ms. Brown. Can the submission of a pair of Tier 1 forms be used to transfer a portion from a parcel of land for tax purposes before subdivision and or new title acquired, whether or not the original parcel has a registered title? The Tier 1 form, that's the form used by the Land Valuation Division to put persons' names on the tax roll. And you're asking, can it be used to transfer a portion of land from a parcel? You don't really use the Tier 1 form to transfer the land. You use it to put a person's name on the tax roll, assuming that the land has been given to the person already. But it's with evidence that the land was in fact given. It can be used as evidence. It cannot be used really to bypass the subdivision process, but it can be used to transfer a person. And sometimes it can be used when you want to, well, I won't go into that, but it can be used before the subdivision, yes, because suppose my mother has 10 acres of land and she wants to give me a piece. I surveyed my little piece. She can in fact go and sign up the Tier 1 form, because that's assuming that's her name is the name on the tax roll. She can sign up the Tier 1 form, send it to Land Bar with a copy of my diagram so I can get to pay taxes for my own little piece of land. Okay, and this is usually for land that is not titled, yes, so it is usually for unregistered land.
We have a caller for you when you're ready, Ms. Brown.
Yeah, I take the call, Dervan. Thank you. Good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon, Ms. Brown.
Hi, yes, how can I help?
Well, I'm calling this program because I have a very, very bad problem. I grew up on a piece of land from about, I was a little baby girl about 3 or 4 years ago. Now I'm 42. If this man claims in the land, I don't even really know if he's actually the real owner. But the thing is this, the deal is on the courthouse who had brought me notice, and I'm currently not even working to afford attorney at law. I really don't know if I can assist me in getting an attorney.
All right. There is a legal aid clinic at the Bethel Baptist Church. Are you in Kingston or St. Andrew?
Portland, and I'm not getting anywhere with the legal aid clinic. Some try to complex at the courthouse, and I call the number and they're not getting.
Yes, because you're going to have to go to court, because if you don't go to court, then you're going to, the person is going to, as we say in Jamaica, win the case. So you have to go to court. So I'm sorry, you said they have brought an action against you. You have a court date coming up?
Well, I don't get the court date yet, but you brought me a notice and to have until July the 17th to leave.
All right.
And I don't have anywhere to go.
Sorry, just listen one minute. Are you the only person on this property?
Yes, currently.
All right, because if you have been there that long enough, it's not government property. They can't legitimately claim it. It is now yours. So what I'm going to ask you to do, though, is to call me tomorrow in office. But
I don't have your office number. I don't have your office number.
Sorry, there. My office number is 876.
Oh my gosh. Well, I don't have any pen.
All right, dear. So I can't really help you then. What you want me to do? Just keep listening to the program and just keep listening to the program and get the number. If you call a program like this, you have to come prepared. All right. So just listen to the program and write down the number that you hear me say throughout the program, or go online and look for my number, Gloria Brown. But try to get in touch with me tomorrow, please. All right. The number to call 922-411-225. And the text line is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. And I'm saying to persons, this is the exact situation that I keep talking about. We only react, as I've said on the program quite a few times. I've now become a firewoman, because a lot of persons only contact my office when there is a fire. She has been living there for nearly 40 years. But she's having a problem now because somebody has served her notice. And that's a part of the challenge why we're going to have a problem becoming a part of the problem why we're going to have a problem becoming a first world country. Because you cannot be first world. You cannot be first world with this kind of attitude. Because first world is not just an economic marking, It's also a mindset. We are just contented to live and to breathe and to eat and to sleep until we have a problem. And saying to persons, we have to try and get this piece of paper in our hand called a title. Because it's one of the most valuable assets we're going to own in life. And it's an asset we can use to advance our situations in life. I quote the Soto so often, who says that when you have this land and this nice house on it and so on, and you don't have any documentation, it is dead capital. It is capital that is really useless. You can only sell these properties in very small circles, because when you don't have anything for it, it's only a little friend or a relative or somebody from the community will buy it for you. And the persons who are buying it from you will better have cash because no bank will lend them money. So that is why we call it dead capital. It is not alive. It cannot be used to advance your situation. And I'm begging persons, you have a title, you have a piece of land, you don't have a title, just send me a WhatsApp message. All you have to do is say 387, send me the message to 876-387-3183. Just send me that message. All you have to do is say title. 876-387-3183. Say title and I will assist you to get a title. Don't wait until you have a problem. Don't say Miss Brown is alright, be comfortable. Alright, because we know that the title is what we call a latent need. You only need it when you need it. But let us try and get it before we need it. 922-411-325. 922-411-325. And remember, the text line to send me a text message is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. And you can also send me an email to gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
You're listening to Land Solutions during both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. Land Solutions, the program that deals with any matter having to do with the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. The numbers to call, 876-922-4113-5. 876-922-4113-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions, which means you can not only send your text messages, but also your WhatsApp messages. That number is 876-387-3183. 876-387-3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. gloria@landsolutionsja.com. The law firm Brown, Findlay and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. They also have an office at Shop 6 upstairs, the Jamaica National Building in Ocho Rios, St. Anne. You're encouraged to call ahead before turning up at the offices of the law firm Brown, Findlay and Company. Those numbers to call, 876 908-1950 or 876-908-3518. Once again, here's attorney at law, Gloria Brown. Ms. Brown? Hello?
Yes, Dervan, are you hearing me, Dervan?
Yes, hearing you now.
Hearing me?
Yes, we are.
All right. Okay, thank you, Dervan. Yes, just want to apologize to listeners for the abrupt ending of this segment earlier. The question I was looking at, my executors for my will have migrated. Do I need to redo my will? The first thing I would ask you, are the executors your beneficiaries? Suppose, for example, you're willing the property to your children, and they are the ones who have migrated. I would say to you, no, keep them as your executors. If the persons who you are willing the property to are the ones who have migrated, leave them as your executors. But if they were not beneficiaries in your will, I would advise you to redo the will and make. So it doesn't matter if they live in Australia and they are your beneficiaries, that's fine. Because they can probate your will, you know. And if you have confidence in these persons and you don't want to change them as your executors and they have migrated, that's fine. Because when we would want to probate your will, if you should pass on, we'll just prepare the papers and send to these persons abroad, and they get them signed and send them back. So the fact that a person lives abroad will not preclude that person from fulfilling the obligation as executors. So the reason that the fact that they have migrated is not enough reason to redo the will. But as I said, if they are not necessary to be your executor, if it's not necessary that these few persons should be your executors, then I would say to you, change them, use your executors if you're going to will it to your spouse and your children, your brothers, your sisters, your nieces, and they are in Jamaica and they are responsible people. Make them your executors. The number to call 922-411-325, and the text line is 387-3183. So send me a text message 387-3183. And remember the email address, gloria@landsolutionsga.com. gloria@landsolutionsga.com. And I asked this listener earlier if she were in town, she could go to the Bethel Baptist Church in Halfway Tree because they have a legal aid clinic. They have a legal aid clinic every Saturday between 10 and 12 where persons can really get some, very inexpensive legal advice, because the challenge is that we really need legal aid for civil matters. When I say civil matters, you have civil matters and you have criminal matters. Criminal matters where there's a crime. Civil matters is like these many land problems that persons have. But legal aid only provides for criminal matters, which is sad. A lot of persons need some help. A lot of persons need some help with civil matters and can't. And a lot of persons lose their rights. A lot of persons lose their rights because they really don't have the funds to pursue these matters, because it's an expensive process to start any matter in the legal aid, in the courts in Jamaica. Very, very unfortunate. The number to call 922-411-325. 922-411-225, I'm sorry. And the text line is 387-3183. This one, there's a transfer pending in the court to which I have equitable interest, but I'm claiming adverse possession because the owner is doing a transfer to me. Are you sure you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by there's a transfer pending in the court. Not too sure, because I don't see the court dealing with transfers to which I have equitable interest but not claiming adverse possession because the owner is doing a transfer to me, or to maybe the court has given an order. I'm not sure. I'm going to have to get a little bit more information from you on that one. The number is to call.
Sorry, we lost you at the numbers to call.
876-922-411-325. 922-411-325. And the text line is 876-387-3183. 387-3183 is the text line. Someone is asking for some information, some guidelines on buying and selling land. I'll look at that as well. My father willed a piece of land to 40 children 36 years ago. The will wasn't probated and they all built homes on it. They want to now pay their own taxes. are they able to use the TR1 form in order to transfer to their own taxes? Only if the person on the tax roll is alive, and I suspect his daddy's name on the tax roll. Okay, and I really would love if your aim is not to pay your own taxes, but your aim is to get a title. What's the use of paying your own taxes when you don't have a title? So I'm saying to persons that we have to think a little bit first word. Okay, what's the aim of paying taxes when there's no... Anybody can pay taxes. If you send a frog into the tax office, they collect the money from him. That's not what the aim should be. The aim is to get a title, because when you get a title for your piece, automatically you'll get to pay your own taxes. You can't fill out the TR1 form because the person who should sign the transfer, I suspect, as the owner on the tax roll, not the person paying it, but when you look on the tax paper as the owner, I'm sure it probably says your father said that he cannot resurrect it to transfer the TR1. So what each of you need to do is to survey your little piece with your house and apply for a title. Of course, I would have to see if the bigger title says the land is not to be subdivided. But if there's no bigger title for it and there's nothing on it to say it's not to be subdivided, and you all have been living on it for 36 years, survey your little pieces and go and get a title. Tax is not the ultimate aim. The ultimate aim is a title. You can walk into the bank with, and you might say, but I'm borrowing money, Miss Brown, but I use that as the ultimate test to see if your title is in order. You can't walk into the bank with a tax paper and say, I'm paying the taxes, lend me some money. Get a title. So each of you, and I see where this person has sent you the form already, go and survey your land, and all of you pay up the taxes up to date, and then when each of you, as soon as one person gets a title, you're going to find that they will retire the tax number. They're going to cancel the tax number, and you, who has the person who has got a title, will be able to pay taxes for their little piece with their title. And then they'll give a new tax number for your other three brothers and sisters. They are going to be in the one tax. When another person gets a title, they'll cancel the number again. We call it retiring, and give that person to pay their own taxes. So please, get the title and you will automatically get to pay your taxes. Good afternoon, Ms. Brown. I got the title for a property in 2020. But the tenant got a title for said property after claiming adverse possession. We pay all the taxes and serve this person several notices. What can be done to rid this person from the property? But was the tenant paying rent all the time? When was the last time the tenant paid rent? Because the fact is, that if the tenant did not pay rent for 12 years straight, the tenant has the right to claim adverse possession. That's just the law. Okay, so paying all the taxes and serving notice is not going to help you. Was the tenant living there undisturbed for 12 years not paying rent? Because you can pay your taxes every year and it's not taxes that count, it's possession. That's why I'm saying to persons, get your title. Get your tenants to pay or get rid of the tenants. But if they're not paying, they can make time run out on you and claim your property. So the fact that you were paying taxes all this time and you serve notice, that's not going to be enough. You have to take the person to court within 12 years in order to disturb them. Serving notice is not disturbance. Okay, please remember the numbers to call 922-411-325. 922-411-325. And the text line is 387-3183. 387-3183 is the text line. This person is saying the entire property is over 5 acres. If the tenant was occupying the 5 acres, the tenant can claim the adverse. Okay, and hasn't paid rent for 12 years, then the tenant can in fact pay the adverse, claim the adverse possession. So I'm saying to persons, there are a lot of persons out there, not in Jamaica and the diaspora, listening. Look about your interests, look about your family property, look about what is happening on your property. Don't just leave persons there, the neighbors to watch it or the relatives and they pay the taxes because they can claim your properties. Anybody on your property, let them pay even peppercorn rent. Get an agreement in place, let them pay even $1,000 a year, make sure you collect the money from them and give them a receipt for it. You're sending money to persons for them to look about your property for you and to do things on the property. Don't just send the money with a friend who is coming out. Send it to them by one of these courier companies where you have evidence to say I've sent this gentleman money every 3 months, every so and so to push the property. Send it to them by email, by WhatsApp where you can keep the messages. Send it somewhere where there's evidence that you can bring before the court if this person should try to claim your property. Say, hey, look, Judge, I've been sending money to this person, and immediately that's a red flag. If this person is claiming a squatter's Paying the tax is not enough. All right. I'm sending paying for the person money to push it. The person is paying me rent for the property. Here's the rental receipt. Here's the rental agreement. And when the agreement expires, put another agreement in place. Too many of us losing our properties, losing the family properties. Ms. Brown, I am talking about my access to the property. Persons are claiming abandonment by the owner, and I live there and challenge the claim in court on behalf of the. I'm not too sure what's happening there. I'm not too sure what this. Oh, there's a transfer pending in court. Okay, I would have to get a little bit more information. What you're saying sounds a little bit. Okay, not so clear. There's a huge parcel of land in, let us say, in Westmoreland called. My father occupied a piece of it since 87. My father migrated, but I still have family living on the land, and I'd like to get the piece of land occupied, regulated. A lot of people have come in over time and have built concrete houses. JPS has recently come in and placed that in the area. How could I go about legally claiming? Well, your father was the one who was there for some time, so you could survey the property and try an application. So if you have evidence to show that you have been there since 87 or your father has been there. So you still have family living on the land. So I'm thinking the best person to deal with it is your father. So survey the land in his name, let him make the application. He could say whoever name he wants on the application, on the title. Because remember, that's when you put somebody's name, when you make the application, your father can make an application, but he can ask for the title to come out in anybody's name. So he can make the application and ask for the title to come out in your name, the relative's name. And these persons who are living on the land as relatives need to know a little bit more about them. Are they going to be claiming it for themselves? And the property that you are speaking about is a property I'm quite familiar with. I'm quite familiar with that particular property, as I have clients living on that property. So if you're going to be claiming, the first thing you need to do is start with a survey diagram. Having got the survey diagram, you can always send me the information. Just send me the text message to the title. You can send that message to 3873183. Just say the word title, and I will move towards assisting you in getting a title. But anybody who wants a title, you need to start with a survey diagram. Survey your property first, and then we will move towards title. Remember, we're soon be up on a break, and remember the numbers to call 922-411-225. And if you want to send a text message, please send the message to 3873183. That's 876-387-3183. And remember that you can also call me in my office tomorrow, 876-908-1950. 876-908-1950 or 876-908-3580. That's the office number at Winchester Business Center. And remember, we also have an office in Ocherios at 876-974-6083. That's the Ocherios office in the Jamaica National Building. This is Land Solution.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Are you planning to buy land or property? Before you make your purchase, find out who is the legal owner or who is legally authorized to sell the property. Ensure all property tax payments are up to date and consult an attorney at law who will guide you through the process and protect your interests. Use eLand Jamaica at nla.gov.jm to check on matters pertaining to property information. For more information, contact the National Land Agency at 876-750-5263 or 876-946-5263. Email asknla@nla.gov.jm or WhatsApp us at 876-418-5089. The National Land Agency. One agency, one goal, to serve you better.
Chad Ad Distributors are the island-wide distributors of the popular Maxxis tires, plus Sumitomo, Falcon, and Solidil. For batteries, Mayatsu, AC Delco, and for lubricants, it's Petro Canada. Visit us at 87 to 91 First Street, Newport West. Telephone 901-6612 or 383-4363. Chad Ad Distributors Limited, your place to retire.
It's the final segment of Land Solutions for today. Land Solutions, the program that deals with anything at all with respect to the sale or purchase of land. You've come to the right place. Here are the numbers to call: 876 922 4113 to 5. 876 922 4113 to 5. Text line same as the WhatsApp number for Land Solutions: 876 387 3183. 876 387 3183. The website is landsolutionsja.com. Landsolutionsja.com. The email address is gloria@landsolutionsja.com. Gloria@landsolutionsja.com. On Facebook, it's facebook.com/landsolutionsja. Facebook.com/landsolutionsja. The law firm Brown, Findley and Company is headquartered in Suite 39 of the Winchester Business Center, corner of Winchester Road and Hope Road in Halfway Tree, St. Andrew. You're encouraged to call ahead instead of just turning up at their offices. The numbers to call the law firm Brown, Findley and Company: 876 908 1950 or 876 908 3518. Once again, here's attorney at law Gloria Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. A text message. Good afternoon, Miss Brown. My sister and I got 3.5 squares of land, but the land was surveyed with the government, but my name was not on the survey list. I need some advice. So even if it's surveyed in your sister's name alone, it doesn't really matter. Just make sure that you are a part of the person, you are one of the persons making the application. So you and your sister can both make the application and get the title. But what I wanted to ask you though, do you have a house on it? Your sister has a house? Because I would prefer if you would try to survey it in 2 parts, where you can get your title and your sister can get another title. I always say to my clients, 2 titles are better than 1. So you probably might consider, and I would have to get a little bit more information from you to see if this is good enough advice. But if it can be cut in 2 and you can get one for yours, if you have a house on it, your sister can get a title for her separately. But the fact that your name is not on the survey should not alarm you too much. Make sure that if you're going to get one title, make sure that when the application is being made, both your sister and you are both making the application. So it doesn't matter if the title is if the survey diagram is in my name alone, my sister and I and my brother and my cousin, we can all make the application. Because a lot of times the survey is just done in one name. So don't get too alarmed, as long as you know that nobody is trying to rob you of your interest. But make sure that you make sure you're a part of the title process. My husband has a small property, I think 2.5 squares. He added 4 children before getting the title. At the time, we were not married. He added me later with consent of children signing their part. Should they want to give back their part, how can they do that? The title is tenants in common. So the children, everybody can come together. The children can transfer to you and your husband now. Because sometimes the children might want to take their names off because they realize they can't get an NHC benefit. Because NHC will say they own properties already. So it's just a transfer. So you can contact me by the same number you just said this to, and I send you the information. If you could send it by WhatsApp, I'd be grateful. And I send you the information that you would need to take the children from the title. The number is to call 922-411-225, and I must apologize to my clients that I have a bit of a cough. Good afternoon, Ms. Brown. My son is assisting me to pay my mortgage, and I would want to add his name to the title. But would like my daughter to live there until she gets her own home. What can I do? I don't want to put her name on the title. First, I'm going to ask you why you don't want to put her name on the title. I hope you're not one of those persons who feel that the girls must not get anything because the boys have your name, but that's another story. Well, because your name is on it with your son, then the son will not be able to ask the sister to leave. But if you're going to be a joint tenant with your son, when you pass, the son would ask your sister to leave because you'll be the sole owner. So you might need to discuss this a little more to see how best to protect the sister. But if you add the son to the title as a joint tenant and you should pass on, son can ask sister to leave. you're tenants in common though with your son, you're going to have to make a will to will your share. You could will the share to the son as well, but you could also ask the sister to leave. So it's a little bit tricky. If you are not putting the sister on it, they could have a little bit of a problem. Maybe you might consider at least there are some different legal options we could think of. But remember that she's your blood still. And I know I have a lot of clients, I'm not accusing you of this, but I have a lot of clients who will sometimes come into me and say that the land belongs to only the boys because the girls married and they don't name Brown again and all these things. And remember, it's blood. Alright? So remember that it's not just enough to say I want the boy to carry on my name because I don't want the girl. The girl is still blood. But as I said, I don't know if that's your reason. You probably have other reasons, and I'm being a little bit unfair to you. But if you add the boy, as I said before, and he's a joint tenant with you, and you should pass, it's going to be his alone. So you have to consider that. My mom died in 2020, August. She did not leave a will. It's 4 of us. How can our names be added to the title? How much will it cost? It's a 4-bedroom house in the parish of Portland. So mom died and mom did not leave a will. You did not tell me if mom has a spouse. You say she has 4 children. I don't know if any child has died. Because if a child has died and that child died leaving children, then you know that those children for the dead sibling will have to get their share. But let's say just 4 of you are alive. We're going to have to apply for something we call letters of administration. We're going to have to apply to administer the estate. What does that mean? When a person dies and leaves a will, the executor applies to probate the will. When there's no will, the executor applies for letters of administration, which is what the beneficiaries apply for letters of administration. So the 4 of you can apply because as many as 4 persons can apply. 1, 2, 3, or 4 can apply. So the 4 of you can apply to administer the estate. And what that means that the lawyer will prepare the papers for you. The lawyers will prepare the papers for you and apply to the court to administer the estate, and then it will go to all 4 of you. The cost is about 8% of the value of the property. You say it's a 4-bedroom house in Portland. We can't give you a flat rate because you'd have to say what's the value of the estate. But I find the process can cost about around 8% is a good estimate of the cost of administering the estate. So it can go to all 4 of you. The numbers to call 922-411-225 and the text line is 387-3183. And I've noticed the persons who are asking for text, and I will send the information shortly. Remember, you can send a text message to 387-3183.
We have a caller for you, Ms. Brown.
Thank you, Dervan. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon, Ms. Brown.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, we are really doing a human service there in terms of educating the people about land acquisition and ownership. And the recent disclosure by your office, and I'm glad that you have an office in St. Anne, that in St. Anne only 43% of people actually have ownership of land. And disclosure that was made about the situation all over the island. And that is of great concern. Because at a time when you have a lot of people grabbing land under dubious circumstances and people being robbed of millions, it is good that you are acting as a force of deterrent to stop some of those people in their tracks. And I hope that there are many more lawyers like you doing similar work, because some of the lawyers end up to be practitioners in crooked scheme out there. So you are an exemplary to the practitioners of law in Jamaica. So continue your good work, especially in St. Anne, because there's a lot of questions out there as to who are actually owners of land and people seeking what is not theirs in order to make money because of greed. Continue your good work.
Thank you, sir. And I must say there are a lot of colleagues like me out there who are pushing to try to help people to get the title and to appreciate the value. But thank you so much.
Yeah, man, I'm missing your colleague here some of the time. Because yes. I listen to Power 106, you know. And we need a lot of changes in Jamaica to put it on the right track. And it's people like you who are pioneers in the long run. And we hope that younger people will emulate people like you that practice at the bar.
Thank you, sir. We're trying our best to train them as well.
All right, okay, have a good day.
Okay, I appreciate the call, sir. Thank you so much. And I think what the caller was speaking about is something that I haven't mentioned today, that there's a seminar I did for the Bethel Baptist Church. It's on YouTube. Just put in Bethel Baptist Church Deadless. And I was looking at the land ownership in Jamaica and the parishes to see what percentage of the parishes there's title. And there's something I observed. I was preparing some title applications on the weekend. And I was looking at the survey diagrams, and most of the diagrams that persons have come to me to do title for, they bought a little piece of land. When I look at the survey diagrams, the land are already registered, and I hope some of my surveyor friends listening and some of the people from who deal with titles, because we're realizing now that the adverse possession is outstripping even the first registration. I'm seeing that in my practice, which means that even though you're saying a pass this title and you're saying 40% registered, a lot of the 40% is a mess, because people have got a little piece here, a little piece there out of the 40%. So when you're tidying up something, it is being messed up. So something has to give. I don't know how we're going to work it. I think it needs a serious task force to sit down and look at this land titling thing. Because I've got a title for Mr. Brown for 10 acres, and I say, okay, that one is registered, I'm safe. Mr. Brown has died and left it for 8 children who haven't sorted it out yet, and one of them sold a little piece to burn Mr. Brown. That 10 acres is now a mess. Back to square one. So there's a lot to do. Remember, if you need me to help you to get a title, just send me a message. And some of these persons, some of you who have sent me the messages, I promise I will hold them for next week and discuss them, because I wouldn't be able to get through with all the many that have come through. But somebody cannot executive distribute assets from an estate before obtaining probate. No, the executor has to probate the will before it starts sharing up. What evidence is he going to have to show that this is the will the court has approved it? So executor needs to go and get probate before it starts sharing. And remember, the best executors are your beneficiaries. So what am I saying to you this afternoon? If you want a title, just send me a text message title. That's all you have to say. Send it to 3873183. And I want to say thanks again for your continued support to Land Solutions. Those persons out there, please you can keep sending me the message, because I will deal with them next week for you. If you think it's that important that you can't wait until next week, give me a call or send me another message to ask if I can give you a call. But remember, thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon on Land Solutions. Thanks to Adrian Reed as always. Thanks to Dervan, and thanks to Power 106. And I look forward again to sharing with you next week, Monday, God willing, on Land Solutions. Remember, you can check the Bethel Baptist Church Legal Aid Clinic this Saturday at 10 o'clock if you have a legal problem. This is Gloria Brown. Have a good afternoon.
Help us protect Jamaica's borders. Tell us about any illegal guns coming through customs-controlled areas. Call Crime Stop at 311. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:30.
On the heels of today's edition of Land Solutions, time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Someone has sent us a message. Let's go back to the source of this one. It's It looks like via messenger, sent via messenger. And it says, "Good afternoon. Can you talk about our petition briefly in one of your broadcasts, please?" And then we have to click on a link that says Row Reforms, ROWE Reforms. And this advocacy with respect to reformation arising from the brutal death of the 8-year-old girl, Danielle Rowe. And it says, let's see what it says. So it says Rowe reforms, safer schools to protect our children. What the reforms mean: monitored transportation from approved operators for primary and infant students, standardized and I'm sorry, the print is not the what do they call it? Not the print, it's the pixelation. It's not as sharp. So when you expand the photo with the words on it, you struggle to read maybe one or two of the words. But we're trying our best. What the reforms mean: monitored transportation from approved operators for primary and infant students, standardized and funded security protocols and systems for all primary and infant schools, CCTV and fencing around all primary and infant schools, tracking and monitoring devices for students in special high-risk cases. Review and standardize security across state schools. Implement Row reforms is the heading. And so it's a petition that has started the 15th of June. And it seems to be addressed to the Most Honorable Andrew Holness, Prime Minister, and one other. There are 137 signatures already. The next goal is 200. And there are a couple of names of those who have already signed: Aurette Montague, Patriana Watson, Keneal Thompson. Why this petition matters: started by Parents Alliance Jamaica. Well, if only we could sustain this, it would mean something life-changing is happening in this country. With the bullish approach that we now take to confronting corruption, fraud, scamming, and related matters, and tie that in with the work of the Integrity Commission, whatever we think or feel about the commission, it's something different that is being implemented to ensure that we have the requisite checks and balances in Jamaica. Now we have Jamaicans into the habit of protesting virtually every single day, whether it has to do with the remuneration of the political directorate or otherwise, whether it has to do with this most gruesome killing of this little girl, Danielle Rowe. People are speaking up. People are stepping forward. People are taking responsibility. They're signing petitions. They're speaking out. And they are not afraid. They are unafraid as they pursue their respective goals. So perhaps something good is happening or is evolving or is on its way. and it remains to be seen if this will fizz or whether it will pick up steam and put this country on another level. That remains to be seen. So that's the petition. It was started by an organization called Parents Alliance Jamaica. Parents Alliance Jamaica. Thank you very much for sharing. Let's see who else is messaging us here on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Some messages we have, or let's go to the phone lines. 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hi, afternoon.
Good afternoon.
My battery soon finished, but I just wanted to bring up this point for possible discussion for your listeners. So the Office of the Prime Minister has this petition website where you can go on there and put on your petitions, right?
Yes.
Well, I put one forward, which apparently needs approval, and it was denied. The one I
needed approval from who or which institution?
I don't know, someone in the Office of the Prime Minister, because they wouldn't post it directly online, and it was denied.
Are you able to say what the subject or substance of this petition was?
That's why
Please.
I called.
Yes, go ahead.
Because I'm an individual, 52 years old, and I have been contributing to NHC for 30 odd years, but I can't get a house.
How come?
I can't get a house because my points alone by me is something like 900 and something, which is lower than anybody else that is younger than me putting it in. So I don't understand how that point structure is. So when I got together and started thinking about this, I said to myself, why do we not have NHT as an optional tax that we can opt into in our plan for life? So even though you get back your money after 7 years, supposedly with interest, I don't know, calculated by who or what, I do believe NHT should be an optional contribution that you are able to contribute to.
Oh, I see. I
put together that plan and everything else, and I put it on the petition for the OPM website, and it was denied to be placed in the public eye.
You perhaps might have to try another TACT, TACT, to see what that yields.
But yes, I do believe that those deductions should be optional for your future planning. I mean, persons are doing NHT now that will never ever get a house. And I find that NHT is more targeted for I would not call them poor, I would call them lesser and the middle and the higher. Higher gets to buy multiple houses in a scheme. Middle struggles to get it, and the lower also is given houses at much. Even I think NHT gives you grants as well as zero interest loans.
Mm-hmm.
So really, the middle professional person that's paying their taxes, has a job, does everything legal, really can't get ahead. So that's why I kind of propose an optional.
Well, try coming from another angle or another position and see if you get in. Sometimes when these obstacles pop up or are placed in our path or paths, we need to re-examine the situation and approach it from another angle, another position, another tact, another approach, another strategy, and see if you're able to break down whatever barriers are being put in the way.
Yeah, but 30 odd years there, and my point is too low to get even a studio.
Yeah, that's actually quite shocking. Quite shocking.
Okay. That's how the world is, apparently.
That doesn't sound sustainable at all. It sounds like more people will be, in a manner of speaking, disenfranchised as far as housing is concerned, which would make for quite a scene if it continues that way. A scene of a sea of homeless people.
Well, thank you.
Yeah. Well, thanks for sharing. As we said, try again from another position. Keep us posted and let us know how the petition is doing, if it is doing at all.
To be quite frank, the position I'm looking at now is actually leaving Jamaica.
Well, if that is what you come up with, by all means. By all means.
I do have friends that have migrated in 5 years. They now own 2 houses and cars, and they have money in the bank. Don't know what I'm still doing here.
Yeah.
To be quite frank.
Well, anyway, whatever is best for you and your family, by all means.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Yeah, there are tons of opportunities, and we've been saying this for years now. If you've been listening to this program long enough, you would hear us saying that never before in the history of the world has there ever been so many opportunities. And when we put it out there in that regard, we mean all over the world. There is absolutely no shortage of opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere. It's now a function of the mechanisms that are in place to direct people who might be blinded by whatever means, not in a medical sense, but not having the access. The access is important, and people need to know. If people know of the opportunities that abound or are available, then they will properly position themselves to take advantage. And there has never been in the history of the world so many opportunities. And people are not wasting time. People are taking full advantage of the opportunities as they come. And so it should be.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 754-3714. The time by ABC Electrical Sales is
3:45.
Deposit will have insurance. It's an account that come with assurance. Let me teach you why it's important to have deposit insurance. Just in case your bank crash dead. No need to put your hands by your head. Up to 1.2 million you get for all accounts that's affected. Yeah, one room you can start it. As a house party. Pay your mortgage with ease. JDIC is a smart win. Deposit we bring safety. JDIC them protect me. Bank and building society protected. The flow you must get with. Protect your savings smart. We urging you to call me. Guarantee you need us. We take banking serious.
Protecting deposits for you and me.
Importers. Shipments requiring you to pay customs duties and taxes are cleared on a customs goods declaration known as an IM4 or IMS4. Ask your clearing agent to provide your customs declaration, customs assessment notice, and customs receipt once duties and taxes are paid. Where your clearing agent may not be able to provide the IM4 or IMS4, request your customs goods declaration registration number or C number, which can be used to verify your payments. Importers, request your IM4, IMS4, or C number. It is your right. For details, email the Jamaica Customs Agency at public.relations@jca.gov.jm. Jamaica Customs, keeping our customers in focus.
Can I have them, please? And the cats in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man of the moon. When you coming home, son, I don't know when. But we'll get together then. Yeah. You know we'll have a good time then.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. And the email address, both sides 106 at live.com. Both sides, it's been a while since we had to, well, not had to, but since we gave you the email address. It just occurred to me. Yes, both sides 106 at live.com. Need to check that mailbox. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, here on Power 106 FM. Hello to Wayne Joseph Swaby Christian. He says, Buenas tardes, Señor Dervan Malcolm, desde Inglaterra. Essentially saying, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan Malcolm, from England. So Wayne Joseph Swaby Christian is in England. Good to have you on board. We hope we get the opportunity to link up with all you English people, in a manner of speaking, in a few weeks. Welcome aboard, Wayne Joseph Swaby Christian. The name, he wasn't finished. Hold on. Wayne Joseph Swaby Christian Fernando Sr. Is that for real? This might interest you, he says. All right. Well, maybe you can tell us more. Albert in Coconut Creek, Florida, who wasn't able to meet us and greet us over the last few days for reasons we know of. He says, Sir D, hope you had a wonderful weekend, though short. Americans have been celebrating Juneteenth this weekend, the third year since the holiday was given federal status by President Biden in 2021. And Wayne Joseph Swaby Christian says, looking forward to seeing you in July. Likewise, looking forward to seeing all our listeners and viewers in the UK. Thank you very much. Appreciate your commitment and listenership. Keish Lindsay says, good evening, listening from London, England. Welcome, Keish Lindsay. The list is growing. Looking forward to seeing you in the UK. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. To you too, Cherry Henry. Princess Williams says, hi, Mr. Malcolm. I love to listen to your program. Princess from New York. Welcome, Princess from New York. Bernadette Ogilvy says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm and fellow listeners. Watching from Whitby, Ontario, Canada. Welcome. Welcome, Bernadette Ogilvy from Whitby in Ontario, Canada. Junior Jabari says, looking forward to seeing you. No, Junior Jabari says, good afternoon, Dervan. You totally forget about the email. Can you imagine that? Thank you very much for your messages. Keep them coming. 876-922-4112-5. And those are the numbers to call if you wish to talk with us. If you prefer to send us messages, then that number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. And remember, you can call us on that number as well. How about that? Thank you very much. Let's give you a quick update. We're seeing that more than $60 million in damage to crops in St. Elizabeth from the recent heavy rains, causing $63 million in crop damage in St. Elizabeth. That's the word from the Minister of State and the Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Mining, Franklin Witter. And also, Pakistan widens search for human traffickers after a boat carrying hundreds sank off Greece's coast. Pakistan on Monday widened its search for human traffickers after a tragedy off the Greek coast last week that left more than 500 migrants feared drowned, including many Pakistanis. Demaral, is that? Or I'm trying to identify this name here. Is that an I or an L? Looks like an I. Demarai Gray named to Gold Cup squad. That's football. St. Catherine man pleads guilty to wife's murder. Entities urged to protect clients' data when using artificial intelligence. XPM tells COVID inquiry that UK erred in focusing too much on threat of a flu pandemic. And no update yet on those 8 prisoners who escaped from Black River police lockup. Those are just a few of the stories that are trending right now on the Gleaners website. One of the Gleaners websites, this is the Jamaica-Gleaner.com website. Continuing with more on your program, both sides of the story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And here's a message. I have had enough of them. I guess this is with respect to politicians or the members of the political directorate or the government. It could be any group of people, couldn't it? But anyway, the message says, I have had enough of them. I have had enough of them both, but we have a responsibility to hold them accountable. Big job, says this unnamed correspondent who messaged us a short while ago on the Power 106 FM text line, 876-279-8598. To the phone lines once again, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, man. And what I would like to discuss this afternoon is the selection process that is taking place in the opposition to have candidates for the next election. And I'm going to deal specifically with 2 constituencies.
So isn't that
So,
opposition business? I'm surprised to hear you taking an interest in the business of the opposition.
yeah, well, that is Jamaica's business, because for our government in waiting, you have to study them and find out if they are doing things the right way.
You're on target. I opened the door and you walked right in.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
But when we look at it, a similarity between these two constituencies that in Southeast Center you have 1,200 votes, and in Northeast St. Elizabeth you have 1,274. But it does not stop here. In Southeast Center you have 65% turnout, and in Northeast St. Elizabeth you have 61.2.
Where are all those numbers leading us now?
Well, where those numbers are leading to.
Yeah, that's the
That
question.
If you have an organization and you have delegates, those people are the creme de la creme of the party. Your key personnel that you expect to do the required work to bring victory to the people and to make recommendations as to what is needed to develop the various communities.
Mm-hmm.
So you would expect a lot of party interest where those people is concerned. And after you spend a whole heap of money and you end up on a long and endless campaign with flyers, billboard, bingo party, run money, keep meeting, and you can get not even 70% amongst your own people. What are the prospects of getting vote where the Jamaican people are concerned that you're going to select a government to look about the interests of the majority of the people of this country? So if they do have interest within their own organization, how are they going to have interest in Jamaica in order to mobilize the people for participation?
Well, the people of this country have been suffering for many years, for many decades. It could very well just be sheer fatigue. People are just tired. They can't be bothered anymore.
Yeah, you know, one of the main reasons people hear too much hard argument about corruption, and they see it being manifested in no uncertain form throughout the length and breadth of Jamaica, especially under the 18.5 years of the former PNP administration.
Well, we have come a long way. There was a time when we wouldn't question our leaders. There was a time when we wouldn't turn the searchlight on them. But over time, we have gotten more aggressive, more persistent, and more committed. We hope that's what we're seeing unfolding going forward.
I remember when the great Edward Philip George Siaga usually said management take over for mismanagement.
No, that one missed me.
Yeah, man. Well, me I tell you, as a man in the field long time ago, as one of your elders. And you can get a whole heap of information from the Gleaner in terms of their archives, you know.
But I do that almost, I do that every day.
Yeah, man. Because some of the things that you do every day, I don't know, dig up, you know. Come away, you dig like a 1973, 74 workers bank.
No, we're not doing a witch hunt. What we're doing is sharing pieces of our history on a daily basis according to the Gleaner, based on the importance, the weight of importance placed on the stories by the Gleaner. One moment, please.
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
You know you'll have a good time then. My son turned 10 just the other day. He said, thanks for the ball, Dad, come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today, I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay. And then he walked away, but his smile never did. He said, I'm gonna be like him. Yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you coming home, Dad, I don't know when.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:01. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4h01. 现在几点了4:02 A minute past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Taking your calls on 876-922-411225. Thanks for holding.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
You know, Mr. Asiaga was alive to do plenty things that took place in the Labour Party context place. Mr. Carl Samu that tell us when Mr. Asiaga said, go call you have to tremble, you know. Because not a man that means word. And you know, saying, go and put you over the coal and deal with you. So you have to have firm and decisive action. And if you're on foul of what we needed in, and that is what we need in Jamaica. Because some people right come in like them are copy chatting, and then copy the worst aspect of PNP. And some of them come in a Labour Party and then do come.
So what about the homegrown ones?
The homegrown one then?
Yes.
No man, some of them dangerous out there, man. Because when you hear the PNP talking, you believe paragons of virtue, you know. But we know them say plenty of the devil incarnated. Because when the PNP are trying to go hell, then so them are trying to go heaven, you know.
And the same thing, the same thing could be, the same thing could be said, but the same thing could be said about the Jamaica Labour Party. There's more than enough of that material to go around, quite frankly. And
but when we put them into the scale, the PNP have been found wanting in no uncertain form. And when I tell you about the similarity in terms of what is going on. Yeah. Let's say from last week in Southeast Central, them say one candidate emerged victorious and up to now they can't name the candidate. Because then say the leader of the final say. And
so you're trying now to create doubt within the opposition, within the ranks of the opposition.
No, I do have to create doubt, you know, because they are showing the seed of dissent already. Oh. And they are confused. Anyway, then go there and make a joke them. Whether they turn left or right, because they come in like Humpty Dumpty. I remember when the little boy here, they say Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall.
So who is Humpty Dumpty in this scenario now?
Now the PNP in terms of one PNP and Rise United. If you're fighting, you cannot become one, and there is great division. And you cannot rise united when you are fighting.
It sounds
you are going to be divided.
But it sounds like you're very connected with the Jamaica, with the People's National Party. I mean, we know of your JLP connections anyway.
I was there one time.
I know, but I'm saying to you, based on how you're talking now, it sounds as if you are very connected to the PNP to know all of the information you're sharing with people listening.
My friends, you have good PNP and bad PNP and the same thing in the Labour Party, you know.
Oh, what makes someone a bad PNP versus a good PNP?
No, the good one are the one that think about the interests of the country. The bad one, I think that is the one that think about only themselves and few friends and family.
I see.
And involved in skullduggery. That's why I called up Mocha last week to present the report. And I'm not going to ease off until I get the report whether they have been exonerated or some of them have been found guilty, because I tell you, I know at least 3 of them that went to the inquiry in Kingston that have since died. A whole heap of things took place last week, but then can't tell you, because you see what happened? One PNP defeated Rise United.
Hold a second. Pause where you are. Here's a message coming in from Crocs in Black River. Crocs says, greetings. Jamintel's large antennas seem to be tuned to everything going on in the JLP, but I'm yet to hear him mention a word about the biggest fraud in the history of Jamaica, which took place at SSL. Hasn't he read in the Observer, which is not hostile to his party, that several members of the JLP administration are running scared because they know Taft, T-A-F-T, they are being investigated by the Integrity Commission. I guess your neighbor's business is more interesting than your own, even if yours is giving off a very offensive odor, writes Crocs in Black River.
All right, you tell whoever named Crocs they must call on the radio and talk and give his name and do eyes like a phantom. Because he's very good.
No, but people are free to use whatever means they are.
Mr. Malcolm, you shouldn't even read those things because you have a talk show hosting. And last week you come with one and say, Mr. Siaga, no legacy and no labor right now, call. And defend Mr. Siaga. And he might listen to me and nephew, and then he say, you're from Jamaica.
No, but I thought you...
and he's not listening. You know what, I was trying to get on the program at the time, and I couldn't get on.
Oh.
Because if the moderator want me, they would have to me number come up, what they should have do, and call me, and me tell them, and I do have to tell them nothing, because when Mr. Siaga died, and then they extol the virtues of Mr. Siaga. Most Jamaicans said
sorry, hold on
such a great man.
Hold on a minute, because Crocs made a bit of an error here in terms of the political party. I guess, I don't know if it has something to do with both parties looking alike these days. But anyway, what he really meant to, I'll just reread the message. Greetings. Jamintel's large antennas seem to be tuned into everything going on in the PNP, but I am yet to hear him mention a word about the biggest fraud in the history of Jamaica, which took place at SSL. Hasn't he read in the Observer, which is not hostile to his party, that several members of the JLP administration are running scared because they know Taft, whatever that is, I don't know if that's an error, maybe I missed something, they're being investigated by the Integrity Commission. I guess your neighbor's business is more interesting than your own, even if yours is giving off a very offensive odor, from Crocs in Black River. And he did send the correction that he really meant everything in the PNP as opposed to the JLP. Right. It is what it is. You are saying?
Tell Crocs that if anybody in the Labour Party involved in SSL and they are being found guilty, they must send them to prison and I won't shed any tears for them. Because whether you are PNP cook or JLP cook and you are caught, I believe that the chips must fall where they lie. I do defend criminality and I can come out and talk openly. And I'm a Jamaican name, Crocs. That I'm more French name. So
Crocs is not a French name. It's not a French name. Crocs. No, but Crocs is not French. Crocs is not French. It's not French.
It is what?
It's not French. I can tell you it's not French.
Oh, you spell it?
C-R-O-C-S.
C-R-O-C-K-S?
No, C-R-O-C-S.
Oh, maybe more crocodile, that's what they call Crocs. Crocodile. So he might hide in the ocean and as a sniper.
I don't think crocodiles hide in oceans though.
Yeah, with the ocean I see, because one moderator said the other day that he want him on the program. And he say a list down and he come and they say him up play voice clip. And said he has spread propaganda upon him, but it was I who came up on it. And the moderator that talking about Mr. Siaga legacy and CIA. I would like to inform him that at the same time when they say they have CIA, including Philip G. You had
QGB. Watch the names now, because I don't know I wasn't at the time when all of this was happening. I wasn't necessarily within the midst of that. Maybe I wasn't even born yet.
No, man, maybe you're never born yet. This plan time day everywhere you're going.
So you can't just, you can't just call a name like that. No, you have to be careful.
Yeah, man, the Philippines is in the embassy, but they could allow a man, whether I'm a CIA agent or not, to come into Jamaica and see the operation of the CIA because of the democracy that was practiced in America. But if it was Cuba and Russia, whereby you have the DGI and KGB that was in Jamaica at the same time, they couldn't do that because their family would have come under persecution in those countries. And that's why we said, God bless America. And all the communist socialists them that cost America, when they're running away, they run to America, they now go to Cuba and Russia.
Well,
and that's why the
people are free to
going to save them.
People are free to run wherever they want to run to. So you're predicting that the PNP will not get back into power?
No, man, they're not get back. You know, you say you can't slip and come back and cuss shit.
Oh.
You never hear that from your mother because you are very good at stating what your late mother and grandmother tell you. But I usually hear those from my little boy. And my history and my experience don't trust the PNP, they are wolfing sheep clothing. And socialism is not
and the same thing could be said about you and your party. Everything that you say, they can come back to you the other way.
You know what Sir Winston Churchill said about capitalism and socialism?
You're gone somewhere else now.
It's capitalism is the unequal distribution of wealth. And socialism is the equal distribution of poverty. That socialism can only work in two places. In heaven where it is not needed, and in hell where they already have it. So we were in hell under PNP, and we now go back there. So we say forward and Joe.
Driver in America says, give them hell jamming tell. Go on, ring your bell.
Yeah, man, because the hell will save them from hell.
I think that is enough comedy for today.
Mr. Malcolm, learn much more about we because yesterday all different gunman, boatman to southeast, you know.
Anyway, we hear you loud and clear. Thanks for the call. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Crocs in Black River says, Dervan, please convey to Leslie my best wishes to his mother and that I hope she is doing well. That's very kind of you, Crocs in Black River. Thank you very much for your message on our text line, 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. Text line and the WhatsApp number are one and the same. And let's see who else is messaging us here on Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live, as we said, on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And let's give you a bit of, hold on, where is it? Oh, we have to take the break. Let's take the break and come back.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:50. Looking to take your agricultural business to the next level? New growth opportunities are here with the Development Bank of Jamaica. Small farmers, agri-processors, and all MSMEs in the agriculture sector can access up to $30 million in loans. Visit us at www.dbankjm.com or send us a WhatsApp text message at 876-371-3830 to find out about our agri-based loans. Conditions apply.
Tell a farmer, tell a friend, maybe EBJ have some for them. Alright, we are trying to build back better.
J&N Logistics and Marine Services, a custom broking freight forwarding company, local agents for Transcon USA and Freight Plus Worldwide Canada. They offer customs clearance for returning residents, students, clearance on shipment for individuals, businesses, and companies, vehicle sourcing and dealership service, transportation and haulage and export services, with custom consulting extended to all sectors. Call 876-937-7928 or 876-677-4049.
When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. Yeah, you know we'll have a good time then.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:16. ¿Quelle heure est-il en français? Well, the time just changed. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:17. 现在地点了10:17. 17 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the students listening to us, all the schoolers from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. I believe CXC exams are over now, CSEC and CAPE exams, I think so. And the end of year exams are being pursued right now by the high school students, possibly by the primary school students as well. End of year exams, that's what they're doing right now. We wish you well. We hope you get the results that you work for. Nothing more, nothing less. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Continuing with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. As Juneteenth celebrations continue in the United States of America, here's a piece of American history. On this day in 1885, the Statue of Liberty arrived in New York Harbor as a symbol of Franco-American friendship. 9 years late, the 300-foot statue was a gift from the people of France, who had been the Patriots' primary foreign ally in the War for Independence, to those of the United States as a celebration of the Declaration of Independence's centenary in 1876. The monumental work is mounted on a steel framework designed by Eugène Emmanuel Violet, Le Duc, and Alexandre Gustave Eiffel. Frédéric Auguste Bartholdi sculpted the statue, originally titled Liberty Enlightening the World, from copper sheets upon a steel frame. After completion, the statue was disassembled into 350 sections and shipped in 214 crates to New York Harbor. Over a year later, on October 28, 1886, the statue was reconstructed and dedicated in a large public ceremony by President Grover Cleveland. The statue's pedestal bears the words of poet Emma Lazarus, written in 1883, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore. Send these, the homeless, tempest-tossed, to me. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." These words echoed those of the radical patriot pamphleteer Thomas Paine, written in his 1776 Call to Arms, Common Sense, this new world hath been the asylum for the persecuted lovers of civil and religious liberty from every part of Europe. Hither have they fled, not from the tender embraces of the mother, but from the cruelty of the monster. When the Ellis Island Immigration Center opened its doors on an island in New York Harbor near the Statue of Liberty in 1892, Lazarus's words welcomed the 12 million immigrants who passed by Lady Liberty after trying transatlantic journeys on their way to becoming Americans. Let's continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Poro 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. And Steve McDonald in Toronto, Canada, would like to have a piece of the action, and so he has called us. Good afternoon, Steve. How are you?
I'm very well, Dervan, and good afternoon to you too, and to your listeners, and to the wonderful people in Westmoreland, in particular the Nut speakers in Darlington and in South Laverne. To my Mannings, no good people, big up every time. Yes, certainly I would like a piece of the action.
Oh, before you go on, I should tell you I met one of your... I don't know if you would know him, maybe. I'm not sure. Oh, gosh, what's his name again? But he's a Manning's past student, and oh, gosh, the name is not coming to me right now. I think I have it written down somewhere, but he was in attendance at last week's Jamaica Diaspora Education Task Force Education Summit. He participated. Okay. I think he teaches at Manning's. He's a teacher at Manning's.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm not too sure because I didn't hear anything that we had anyone going up.
I mean, how could Manning's not be there? Come on now, Steve.
But of course, and probably that's why they didn't say anything because it's just so commonplace, right?
Good comeback. Good comeback.
May have been the place. But quickly, Dervan, a few things, couple of things. I saw in yesterday's Observer where it mentioned that the parliamentarians were running scared of the Integrity Commission because there were some, they were going to make some announcement or something like that. And the Integrity Commission did put something into Parliament and did withdraw it at the same time, which I think this is the second time in recent times that I'm hearing that they're doing that. Because they did that with the Prime Minister's thing, which is a bit unfortunate on the face of it, because you would hope that with all the talent that they have, they would be able to get it right before they submit it. You know, as they say, I was measure twice or thrice and then cut once. So, but anyway, putting that aside, I would certainly hope that there's no truth to that story, because it would mean that they are using the Parliament's time to cover up their own personal, or to take care of their own personal issues in terms of alleged or possible corrupt practices. So I really do hope that there is no truth to that it is because they're running scared why they're now attacking the Integrity Commission. Though I believe that what they're attacking them for is baseless, but I just hope that there's no truth to that story. Moving on real quick.
Yeah, it's important. Remember what you're going to say. It's important because whatever you do or say, you want to ensure that you are being fair, as opposed to being partisan or otherwise jaundiced. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's important, as you mentioned, and as parliamentarian and Julian Robinson have pointed out what they were doing, which he even had to correct them, and I'm a bit disappointed correcting them that what they were doing at that time wasn't appropriate based on the bylaws of Parliament. I'm a bit disappointed that the Speaker allowed.
I was about to say that. How and why would the Speaker allow that?
And I guess that's where the partisan side of it comes in, which is unfortunate because people who are apolitical see right through it and see that they're playing game, because you admit that. And which she said, she's not going to take it as of no moment, but she still allowed him to talk for almost 5 minutes on the issue, which was supposed to be a non-issue. So, but again, and then even though the PM came out and said, "Okay, stop with the gas," we saw it continued into the Senate. So it's what is happening there is just unfortunate. Yeah. But just touching real quick on, but again, as just rather back real quick, that is why we the people of Jamaica have to get involved in our own governance, and we can't just leave it up and say when election time come, and a lot of people don't even go out to vote when election time come, and so because of that, we're having these issues and these problems. And we get up in arms and say, "Oh, they're giving themselves so much salary," but you had an opportunity to voice your concern or to vote, and you didn't do that. But coming back to the you said earlier on in that with regards to the horrific murder of the 8-year-old, yes, that people now seem to be taking note and doing something.
Don't talk too loud, as my mother would say. Don't talk too loud. We're hoping this is it. We're hoping this is it. Sorry, go ahead.
Let us speak it into being, because it is about time. You remember that story when they came for the socialists, I said nothing? I don't know if you remember that point.
No, sorry.
When they came... Yeah, when they came for the socialists, I said nothing. When they came for the Mason person, I'm just inserting my words. I said nothing. When they came for the partisan person, I said nothing. When they came for the gunmen, I said nothing. When they came for the scammers, I said nothing. And now they have come for me, and there's no one left to say anything.
Yes.
Right?
It sounds familiar now, yes. Sorry, go ahead.
Yes. So with all of that, we have over the years we have compartmentalized and justified.
That's an excellent word. Excellent word. Compartmentalized. Mm-hmm.
Yes. Well, that's the man instinct coming out. But anyway. So we have done that, and we have justified killings, and then we have become desensitized with all that is happening, and from a cultural aspect of it.
Yeah.
And because back in the 70s, 80s, it was political, so who cared, right?
Yeah.
It was politics themselves. Then it was then in the 80s, 90s, it was gunmen killing. So who cares? Right, and then 2000 was gangs, and then
we get the point. We're at break. We have to go to the break, but
okay, Dervan, you have a good day, and all
you too.
Talking all the time.
Sure, take care.
All right,
bye. Steve McDonald in Toronto, Canada.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:13. Traveling to Jamaica? Submit your customs and immigration declaration online for faster processing. Visit the enterjamaica.com portal, complete and submit your declaration prior to departure. Upon arrival, proceed to the immigration kiosk and swipe your passport to confirm your trip details and declaration. Once done, proceed to the customs hall to retrieve your luggage and final clearance. The online C5, making air travel easier.
You may contact us or the Passport Immigration and Citizenship Agency for more information. Your financial goals? Let the VM Florida Representative Office help you to transform your everyday. Get information on savings accounts offering competitive interest rates, member information updates, and pre-qualify for a mortgage loan to purchase your dream home in Jamaica. Visit our office at 2600 South University Drive in Miramar or call 305-770-2643. That's 305-770-2643. The VM Group. Transform your everyday.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 5:29. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 5:29. 现在几点了？5点加28分。28 minutes to, well, it's now 28 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 35 St. Andrew. Do you know where your children are? Are they where they're supposed to be? Doing what they're supposed to be doing? It's a good time to check up on the children. A good time for us to continue with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, 106 FM. Good afternoon to Dr. Trevor Dixon, founder of the Jaja Foundation, Jamaicans Abroad, helping Jamaicans at home. He has sent a message to say, read the Jaja Foundation fundraising summer cruise. He says, our heartfelt thanks to you for your overwhelming support of our fundraising summer cruise. This fundraiser was a tremendous success because of your contribution. Gratitude is a must. See you at the Black Tie Gala on November 4, 2023. And that's from Dr. Trevor Dixon. They just finished their summer cruise, and they hopefully, I think they perhaps have made their target because they need to now pay for having purchased the ambulance in Dubai and having traveled to Dubai and inspected the ambulance. They now need to pay for the shipping costs associated with the movement of that ambulance. So that's the next step. So we trust that they have raised enough funds to be able to pay for that ambulance. And this ambulance is going to be based in Negril to serve Negril and its environs. So we wish Dr. Trevor Dixon and his team all the very best. Also coming through, this one says, good day, Mr. Dervan. The things Jamintel is saying are not comedy. Those are facts. But if you are under 45, you wouldn't know. Two parties, Mr. Dervan, but one not perfect, but way better at handling the money. Hope we will not be put in reverse again. God help us, says Miss Dell. Thank you for your message, Miss Dell. And this one says, the Cubans did more good for Jamaica in terms of sending nurses and doctors to help us, plus building schools and dams. If Siaga didn't run them away, we would have more dams and less water shortage. Cuba has done more good for the world than America. And this is from Cornell in St. Mary. Thank you for your message, Cornell in St. Mary. Driver in America says, good contribution, Steve of the Manning School. And he posts a couple of emojis there as well. And looks like we missed a call. Someone was trying to get in while the text line, which doubles as the WhatsApp number, was still engaged. Sorry about that. Feel free to call again. Meantime, more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. Asha Ash in London, England, saying, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan, just tuning in from London, England. Welcome, Asha Ash from London, England. Always good to have you on board, both sides of the story, here on Power 106 FM. Still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Let's see. A couple. This one. Let's go up top here. And let's go to the WhatsApp number, the WhatsApp line. Steve McDonald in Toronto, Canada says, thanks, driver. And let's see. Where did it go? I thought I saw. All right. Let's share a bit of information first. Let's go to 1895. The cornerstone was laid for the St. Matthew's Church on Hitchens Street in Almond Town, Kingston. Hitchens Street is now known as Canon Weevil Gordon Street. The U.S. government established the 8-hour workday on this day in 1912. Ernest Ranglin was born in Manchester on this day in 1932. 1938, Solicitor Ross Livingston filed actions on behalf of Labour leaders Alexander Bustamante and St. William Grant in the Supreme Court against Inspector W.A. Orrett of the police force, claiming damages for assault, malicious arrest, assault and false imprisonment, and refusing to take the plaintiffs before a justice of the peace within a reasonable time, malicious prosecution before a justice of the peace, and maliciously joining and aiding and abetting a justice of the peace in the wrongful refusal of bail and malicious prosecution. The suits are a sequel to the labor disorders in Kingston on May 24, 1938, during which Bustamante and Grant were arrested. We've been having a lot of talks in general. We've been feeling the heat, and it can be quite piercing when it's in full flow. Well, here's what happened in 1941 in reference to the hot, humid conditions here in Jamaica in 1941. The then KSAC, Kingston and St. Andrew Corporation, as it was then, received representations from firemen in the corporate area seeking permission to join the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce campaign encouraging workers to wear less clothing. Wear less clothing in the summer. That was a campaign by the Jamaica Chamber of Commerce, 1941, because of the heat of summer. They were seeking permission to join the then Jamaica Chamber of Commerce campaign, encouraging workers to wear less clothing in the summer months from now until September. They pointed out that their uniforms were thick, heavy, and very hot, and sought permission to wear shorts to work so that they can be as comfortable while working as are the management and staff of businesses in Kingston and St. Andrew. Wouldn't advise them to give such an ordinance at this time, based on where we are in our culture. Wouldn't advise that at all. Anyway, let's see. Yes, good afternoon. Who is this now on our text line? Same as the WhatsApp number. Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
How are you, sir?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
I'm good. I'm always better listening to your program.
Thank you.
So informative and knowledge-based, except for certain things.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I called. You see, I was listening to Jamaica.
Yes.
And the text that came to compliment is rubbish, right? Mr. Malcolm, you wasn't around, but history will recall. Everything is written. All right? Mr. Malcolm, I always see the both parties as lesser of evil. I don't see them as really good, but I see them as one as being less evil.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Mary and Jamintel talked about Siaga managing the money, a good steward of the finance. Mr. Malcolm, the statin, the official government body that gathers data on economics and other important issues, data for the country. When the JLP left office in 1989, the debt to GDP was 262%. When the PNP came in office and they left office after 18 years, the debt to GDP was reduced to 115. Who was the better stewards? If we're going by the numbers, who are the better stewards? We're not talking emotions, Because when it comes to politics, people come to politics from different backgrounds. Yagama come to politics from the geography when born, One from heredity, and sometimes one will will to him. But the most conscious one are the one where we more or less look at the issues where both parties fight for or not fight for. So we can conclude, can give them another support in a moment when you think it's right. Or even total support sometimes if you think they're less evil. Mr. Malcolm, when the JLP resumed office in 2012 and limited office in 2016, the debt to GDP rose up back to 145. And I should have mentioned in 89, when they left, it was the National Reserve was minus 500 million. What's that to brag on?
Yeah, well, this is the beauty of the times we have been living in for a little while now, when information is out in the public, information is widely available. So people better be careful how they put certain things out there, because the rest of us who are exposed to the data, to the information, know their story.
The numbers I've quoted to you, none of them can argue that.
Well, we hear them all the time these days, actually. So they're out there.
I know, but when them people talk about management, they cite the issue that they think made them good managers.
Well, I'm not into but I'm not into the business of telling people how to put forward their arguments.
No, I'm not saying you should. I understand your point. You're just there to, you say, good must contend, and that's good.
Yeah.
And the fact that you say that, that mission statement, it's very good, because in our world, where that spells? Tolerance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Because we can't see agreement,
Exactly. Hold on. One moment, please. One moment.
Listen to Power 106 FM. The time is now
14 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica.
Welcome to the new dimension in eye care, the Optical Zone, offering exceptionally comfortable eyewear. We fill prescriptions and do eye examinations. This complete optical store is conveniently located at Shop 14, York Plaza, Halfway Tree. Telephone 929-8656. The Optical Zone, providing vision for life.
Farming today is becoming more technologically driven. No wonder Jacto farming equipment has the cutting edge. With Jacto, you are guaranteed sprayers that are durable, user-friendly, low maintenance, have controlled application, efficient and practical. Call Caribbean Chemicals Jamaica at 876-757-0022 and inquire about our Jacto manual and battery-operated sprayers and our tractor-mounted boom and cannon sprayers.
Que hora es en español? Son las 5:13. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 5:13. Science, TDN le, Wu Dien, Cha Shi San Fen. 13 minutes to 5 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Good afternoon to all working Jamaicans tuned into both sides of the story here on Power 106 FM. It's a good time for us to ask ourselves, how productive have we been today? How productive have we been today? Thanks for holding.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
Like I said, you know, just from listening to Jonathan, you know, you remind me of the broken clock. It's right 2 times a day, you know, even if it's not working, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever it stops on, it's gonna come in the AM and the PM at some time.
So it is. Hello? Oh, the connection. Lost you for a moment. Yes, there. Go ahead.
Yeah, what he was doing, you see, what he was doing in a political term was what you call red ringing.
Yes.
He's drawing a stench to either stench.
Mm-hmm.
Because look now, if we're being reasoned people and stop being partisan and leave our mind just for the objective. If the PNP was stealing and corruption was there, what would be the intention of the upcoming government? Not to cure it? And if you can't cure it, that's like repackaging the whole thing like it's the same dog food in a different can. So what would the purpose of him taking office if he can amend the evil of those ways that he campaigned against? What would be the purpose? And we have to start asking ourselves that, you know. And that's why I say at this very moment, the politics right now, we the people, we're between a rock and a hard place. Because there's a level of despondency with this government, but the attraction to the opposition is not the opposite. It's not like moving from east to west. It's like moving from east to no man's land for a pause. Because the opposition had a golden opportunity to seize an optic moment when that salary thing was announced. There should be unanimous that it should go only 20%. It shouldn't be embraced and then you're walking it back. Mr. Malcolm, how much time do you have to make a first impression?
Right in the moment. In the moment. In the moment.
Well, you don't have too time to make a first impression. It's not a dead heat. It can't be. It's not racing. So the moment you do that, you slip some doubt in the whole issue of what you're united around. When the objection should be vociferous. It should be a walkout. And I guarantee you, if it was Andrew Wallace, he would have done that. Because he knows how to seize a moment. And that's so important, because sometimes a moment is life itself. How much time have you ever felt a moment where you feel your whole life just, it's like you feel good or you feel bad within that moment? And like I said, we in your thing about the tolerance, we as a people, we have to understand now that we're not seeking total agreement on most issues in them. Because you see that the unanimity of agreement is only in the graveyard. As people, as thinkers, there are going to be multiple ideas. All we have to do is more or less hear them. We don't have to be disagreeable, because sometimes there's no right or wrong about the ideas that me have and next man have. It's a case of fine-tuning it rather than being separate.
Yeah, it's something I've said for many, many years now, that you never let me just make sure it's what the political parties vie for, what they do is to come to us and they say we are the better managers, because that's what it is about. It's about managing the affairs of a country, and who is which group of individuals is more effective or competent or otherwise efficient in managing their affairs. So it's a matter of either of using either past duties, how you have handled things in the past, how you are handling things now, and on the other side you have now those who might be first timers or giving an impression of being new and different, for example, and maybe there are others who excite the imagination of people, and if they're charismatic, it also helps apparently in some respects, and so on and so forth. So there's no magic to it, really. What you have to do, sorry, go ahead.
It's like tailored things.
Mm-hmm.
Because, we can't negate the social aspect even when we try to protect the money, because there are implications for everything,
That's right.
That get negated,
Mm-hmm.
Because look at the basic school now. If we're really dealing with education and changing the mindset, in the capital budget, security got 4 times the money education got.
Yeah, so we're cleaning up at the back end as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, so we're not really. What should I conclude from that as a layman?
Well, that has been wrong for a long time, where we put our least qualified educators, for example, in our early childhood sector, as opposed to getting our most or most qualified, so that they get the kind of start which is essential. Because once they get that solid start, it's a matter of building on it, going forward and nurturing it.
Because when a child is well taught at the junior level, I mean the real junior level, him actually come home and correct him parents on certain language.
I'm raising my hand at this point because that's what I used to do, especially with my late mother. I learned some. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
As a child, you love your parents, but the teacher have a separate impact on you,
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a separate love you have for your teacher. You're more obedient to your teacher than your parents when you're mischievous around your parents than you would be the teacher,
All of that too.
Yes, you had that volume of respect. And anything the teacher said, they said, teacher said that. It was more like a doctor towards the way where doctors always usually obeyed or listened to.
Well, we're going to obey the time constraints right now so that we can wrap.
That's cool.
But
I'm law-abiding.
Clearly.
Have a good evening, sir.
Same to you.
We'll talk.
Right, for sure. Take care. Bye-bye. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Monday, the 19th of June, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Thanks for the ball, man. Come on, let's play. Can you teach me to throw? I said, not today. I got a lot to do. He said, that's okay. And then he walked away, but his smile never different. Said, I'm gonna be like him. Yeah, you know I'm gonna be like him. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you coming home, Dad, I don't know when. We'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. Well, it came from college just the other day. So much like a man, I just had to say, son, I'm proud of you. Can you sit for a while? He shook his head and he said with a smile, what I really like, Dad, is to borrow the car keys. See you later, can I have them, please? And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you coming home, son, I don't know when. We'll get together then. You know we'll have a good time then. I've long since retired, my son's moved away. I called him up just the other day. I said, I'd like to see you if you don't mind. He said, I'd love to, Dad, if I can find the time. You see, my new job's a hassle and the kids are the flu. But it's sure nice talking to you, Dad. It's been sure nice talking to you. And as I hung up the phone, it occurred to me, grown up just like me. My boy was just like me. And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon. Little boy blue and the man on the moon. When you're coming home, son, I don't know when, but we'll get together then. We're gonna have a good time there.
You're listening to Pearl 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible. Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's News at 5.